Now, I want to discuss the D-backs game one victory over the Kansas City Royals because the D-backs were able to get back on track after a disappointing series to the San Diego Padres, where I still feel like they played the Padres pretty good and, could even say maybe outplayed them in the series. Not to say we didn't lose 3 out of 4, but the D-backs were able to right their wrong against the Kansas City Royals, who I know aren't a very good baseball team. 5-18 now on the season after the D-backs beat them on Monday night. And it was a very close game because at certain points, I thought the D-backs were going to lose this game because I'm not going to do a whole what was good and what was bad from this game because I got a whole crossover with Sully Baseball for you guys to listen to. But I do just want to give some general thoughts from this baseball game because this was a game where the D-backs and Royals were going back and forth early. I thought maybe it was going to be a slugfest because the Royals came out first swinging in the first inning, but the D-backs have been able to respond in just after these first innings by the opposing teams. We saw it all series long against the San Diego Padres. The D-backs always had a good response. I remember the D-backs won, I think in game 3 or 4. I think the D-backs tweeted out, call them the Arizona answerbacks. I was like, all right, I don't mind that. The Arizona answerbacks. That sounds kind of interesting because the D-backs were able to answer back pretty much every time the Royals scored and felt like it might have been a high-scoring ball game. Runs kind of tailed off after the third inning and the fifth inning, and the D-backs kind of needed their bullpen to get through this game because Tommy Henry wasn't exactly phenomenal, and that's probably where we should start first from this game because the Madison Bumgarner replacement Tommy Henry made his first start of the season, and Dre Jameson was optioned to AAA. I was kind of surprised by that. I thought maybe you move Dre Jameson back into the bullpen, but I guess after his struggling outing, they want to give him some more reps in the AAA for the AAA team. Maybe they give him some rotation starts. I didn't read too much into the reasoning for Dre Jameson being sent down, but I'm guessing that's the reasoning to get him back on track and get him some rotation starts. But I think I would have just rather moved him back into the bullpen because I think he was still pretty good in the bullpen role, even though he struggled in the rotation a little bit. He was still very good in the bullpen, so I would have liked to see him go back there. I got to read up a little bit more as to why they sent him back down to the minors, but came up was Tommy Henry, and Henry wasn't exactly sharp. Season debut, but he's someone that has spent some time with the D-backs and 3 earned runs over 4.1 innings pitched, 4 walks. Like he was just kind of shaky out there on the mound. That fastball, he kind of had trouble locating. That curveball had trouble locating. Like if you look at his spray chart, like the fastball and curveball were definitely the two pitches that seemed most erratic for Tommy Henry. Gave up some walks, and it just wasn't a great Tommy Henry start. But still, 4 1/3 and 3 earned runs. That's still way better than any Madison Bumgarner start you were getting. And Tommy Henry did just enough to get you in this game and keep you in this game. But I was kind of scared. A 1-run ball game. Could the bullpen keep it together and do just enough? Because the Royals bullpen actually did a great job of giving up. Well, I guess Chapman gave up an earned run at the end, but the D-backs bullpen was able to get it done, and it looked shaky at times because Kyle Nelson came in after Tommy Henry, and he kind of screwed Tommy Henry over a little bit by getting him another charge run, but then Kyle Nelson was able to settle down after that, get themselves out of a tough jam in that fifth inning. Then Scott McGuff, I was like, why are we bringing in Scott McGuff right now? Like I would have rather seen extended Kyle Nelson action, but it was actually Scott McGuff that got extended action, and he went 1 2/3. And perfect Scott McGuff outing. Like you don't normally get a very clean 1 2/3 outing from him. He could be very shaky and in a 1-run ball game. I mean, after he got through one inning, I was like, yes, Scott McGuff got the job done. And then I was like, oh wait, he's coming back out again. He's not done yet. So he came out for the 6th and 7th, and he was able to get it done because Miguel Castro came in, got the 1 pitch, 1 out for Scott McGuff in the 7th, and then Miguel Castro, I was like, why are we taking him out so soon? I was like, he could have gotten a little bit longer. He only pitched 2/3 of an inning, and then Andrew Chafin came in and screwed over Miguel Castro and got him charged with an earned run. And I would have liked to see Miguel Castro stay in a little bit longer, but instead, Andrew Chafin got the 5-out save, and the D-backs were able to hold on. Chafin looked a little shaky there in the 8th, but was able to settle down in the 9th. He was struggling to locate pitches a little bit, 35 pitches through the 1 2/3 innings with 20 strikes. So he was struggling a little bit to locate, but the pitching overall did just enough, and the offense did just enough. And the offense, once again, putting up runs like 5 runs. If your team is scoring 5 runs every ball game, usually the MLB average is like 4.6, 4.5 runs. Like that's the sign of a solid offense. So if you're putting up 5 runs a game, like you're solid because once again, 5 runs tonight, 5 runs in the series finale loss. In game three, you only put up 3 runs, but in game two, you put up 9 runs. In game one against the Padres, you put up 5 runs. In the finale against the Cardinals, you put up 5 runs. In the second game against the Cardinals, you put up 8 runs. In the first game against the Cardinals, you put up 6 runs. In the last game against the Marlins, you put up 5 runs. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means 8 of your last 9 games, you put up at least 5 runs as an offense. That's really impressive. Those are really strong numbers. And tonight you saw it. Geraldo Perdomo with 2 outs was able to clutch it up because, like I said, there's no one in the world I trust more than Geraldo Perdomo at runners in scoring position. And he was able to come through for this team. He was leading off tonight for the D-backs. And once again, he looked insane. And he just insanely locked in at the plate right now. Corbin Carroll had a nice double in this game. Ketel Marte ripped one as well. Evan Longoria wasn't able to come through at runners in scoring position. Kind of the theme of the night. D-backs 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Just left a lot of meat on the bone. But if you want to be impressed with something, D-backs drew 8 walks to 6 strikeouts. They typically never draw more walks and strikeouts. And today they were able to do that. Maybe on the fly real quick, I can look up how many times this season the D-backs have drawn more walks and strikeouts. If you guys want to bear with me, I'm on Baseball Reference. I found the batting game log right now. Let's see how quickly my offense can do it. Okay, not my offense, my Wi-Fi can do it. Okay, the last time, let's see, how many times this season? Okay, I don't know if I want to look up how many times this season already. How about this? Here we go. Boom. I just filtered it by most walks. And the amount of times the D-backs have outwalked compared to struck out in a ball game, this might be the first time all season they drew more walks than strikeouts in a ball game, actually. April 4th against the San Diego Padres was the other day. They had 7 walks and 5 strikeouts. So this is only the second time all season the D-backs have had more walks and strikeouts. Hopefully that was really entertaining podcast listening for you guys just now. But yeah, D-backs able to get more walks and strikeouts. Very impressed by them. Gabriel Moreno had a pretty clutch single RBI as well. Alec Thomas had a nice sac fly. Nothing really too impressive from the offense. Jake McCarthy once again struggling, not able to really just get going. Had that weird play in the game where you tried to get Jake McCarthy still home. It looked like Perdomo was trying to get picked off on purpose to send Jake McCarthy home. It did not end up working out. But overall, D-backs get the victory. D-backs go back to their winning ways. And once again, the D-backs solidify their place in first place in the NL West. D-backs lead is very thin in the NL West division because the Dodgers and Padres both have 12 wins to the D-backs 13 wins. But hey, you beat the Kansas City Royals. They're a lowly team. You get to play them 2 more times. Hopefully, if you're the D-backs and you think you're a good team, you could get the sweep, not take 2 out of 3. If you are the D-backs and you have some real aspirations of maybe making the postseason this year, then go get the sweep against the Kansas City Royals and don't play with your food.